So the speech was last night. It was only 3 minutes. So I'm going to give a little precursor to the speech, and then I'll go ahead and reenact the speech for you guys, so you can kind of judge for yourself and pretend like you were there last night. It was a wonderful event. Thank you so much for having me. Just to take you back to a little bit about how we got started, I did not come from a nonprofit or a teacher background. I'm actually a journalist, a broadcast journalist by trade, University of Florida, and started off in Florida, moved to Tennessee, Virginia, and then Cincinnati, and then here I worked for Carolina 14 as a meteorologist for a little while before I started Promising Pages. And something happened to me in 2008 that really changed my perspective on what I should have been doing with my life and my talents and my gifts. And I was covering a story at a food bank in downtown Cincinnati. And it was your typical story where the reporter's there saying, look, the shelves are bare, there's not enough food, and here's all these people that have been lining up for hours, and please open up your cupboard so all these folks can have some food. And right in my line of sight was a little girl, not 2 or 3 years old, and she was so beautiful but so sad. And that look on her face still haunts me to this day, and it is that sadness that urged me to launch this organization. I just wanted to cheer her up. I couldn't figure out why she was so sad, and I couldn't do anything to make it better. And I looked around in my bag, and I wanted to give her a present, and I couldn't find anything. And I just brushed it off, and I thought, you know what, when she gets inside, they'll see that she's really impressed, and they'll have a present for her. Well, obviously that's not the case. And so I just thought, what can I give her and the boys and girls like her that could not only give her a blessed day, but impact the rest of her life, maybe? And the word books just popped into my head. It was so loud and so clear. And I just remember that moment. And I was listening to the radio, a national program, and they had on this group of researchers that had looked at the brain scans of thousands and thousands of toddlers. They had pulled all these brain scans from this hospital, and they were trying to analyze them to see what the difference was between the brain scans that were lighting up all over the place and the brain scans that didn't look so hot at all. And they found that it was access to books. And I just thought, wait a second, what do you mean kids don't have books? All my friends' kids have 500 books. They outgrow them so fast, they don't even know what to do with them. And so there we started Promising Pages. So now what I'm going to do is give you my 3-minute speech. I'm not going to worry about the time though, and we'll see how I do. This is what happened last night. Okay. Remember when you believed in superheroes or Santa Claus? At Promising Pages, we have something even better. Irma the Bookworma. Any child who holds Irma's magic book will grow up to be smart, successful, and do anything they want to do in the world. And kids go crazy over this. They fall all over themselves for the chance to touch this magic book. And they scream with joy when we give them their own books. I'll tell you just part of our secret. They have to read at least 10 minutes a day to keep the magic activated. Hi, my name is Christina Cruz. At Promising Pages, we don't give handouts, we give hope. And the way we are doing it has made national news and been called a literary first. There are 60,000 children in the Charlotte area who do not have books to call their own. At CMS, 1 in 3 read below grade level, and 1 in 4 will not graduate. And according to the U.S. Department of Education, children who do not have books in the home are 3 to 4 times more likely to drop out of high school. Yet it is very likely that a child you know has had more books than there are days in a year, which is awesome, as books equal brain development. And in fact, the study that urged me to launch this organization in 2011 showed that toddlers that did not have access to books in the home had brain scans that mirrored stroke victims. Parts of their brain were not lighting up, and synapses were not forming at the same rate as their book-in-hand counterparts. And it is absolutely inexcusable to me that any child in this great country would be growing up without books. At Promising Pages, our solution is simple. We collect books that other children have outgrown. We wrap many as presents, and we give them free of charge from our donated warehouse to any organization working with at-risk kids. Our volunteers pass them out weekly at places such as the waiting room of Crisis Assistance Ministry, where kids flock with excitement to Irma and her books. Except Jada. Jada was not interested. 8 years old, and we had already missed our opportunity with her. And Jada reminds me every day that time is not on our side. And here is my promise to kids like Jada. We will collect 1 million books so that every child in Charlotte can have a shelf full of brain-building, confidence-boosting, bedtime-relaxing, grow up to be anything they want to be in the world books. Together we can change thousands of lives using free resources that already exist in our community. $20,000 would allow us to finally get the help that we need to be able to host 5 times as many as our signature Magic Book Parties for an additional 1,200 students who will receive more than 50,000 meaningful books to call their own, as well as leverage for a Magic Bookmobile and a title sponsor for our 1 Million Books Revolution. Readers become leaders. The magic is already inside them. Irma just helps them believe it, and the books we give them help them achieve it. The wand is in your hands tonight. Please help. Thank you. And we got amazing feedback, and hopefully some wonderful partnerships will come out of the folks that were in the crowd. It is so easy for me to stand up here and talk and talk and talk. It's nothing compared to seeing it. You really have to come to Crisis Assistance Ministry or come to one of our book parties to really see the impact that we can have with these free resources, these recycled books that other kids have outgrown. So I'm going to let Pete stay just a second about my relationship with Crisis Assistance, and then Pete, if you'd like to introduce the video, we can go straight into that.
Thank you, Christina. I'm going to try to describe to you what it means to our families that come to us for help when Christina and her team from Promising Pages come on Wednesday mornings every week. I work for Crisis Assistance Ministry. A lot of you know what that's about, but some of you don't. We are charged by the community with preventing homelessness and preserving dignity. Families come to us when they have no other options, and they're not able to pay their rent and utility bills, and they're facing eviction or utility cutoffs, which often cause homelessness. So every morning when I come to work, there are between 100 and 300 families in line at 7:45. And many of those families can expect to be there for the entire day because we only have so many interviewers and we have to get through all those folks. So you can imagine many of these families have to bring their preschool children with them because that's, they're the caregivers for those children and they're not in school. So not only do the parents, the adults, have to wait sometimes all day in our lobby before they can be interviewed for assistance, but their small children are there with them for those long hours. So enter Christina and Irma the bookworm. Imagine, sitting in a chair in our lobby, and it's been 3 or 4 hours, and you've got preschool kids that are just squirming like crazy, and you're starting to feel guilty probably as a parent for having to do this. And in comes a character. I'm going to try to describe the outfit. The best way I can describe it is a sort of a stack of Fruit Loops on a body. And so Irma the bookworm comes striding in with her supporting cast and walks up in front of a small child and begins talking about the magic of reading, and has a gift in her hand, or his hand, which she presents to the child. It's like a Christmas present. It's a book wrapped as a gift with a bow on it. And the child's eyes, the child is miserable, and the child's eyes just light up. The child opens the present. It's magical. There's an opportunity for reading there. The parents are happy. They're no longer miserable. And this happens, every Wednesday in our lobby. And believe me, it's hard to find ways to keep our families from feeling depressed and just terrible while nobody likes to come to us to ask for help. Nobody does. So this is a ray of sunshine that happens in our lobby every Wednesday. I think we're talking about trying to do it on Saturdays as well. And I couldn't be more grateful to Christina and her team for making this possible. That's my story. Thank you very much, Christina.
Thank you. We are having a major manpower issue right now with staffing some of those, we're 100% volunteer. So if you could ever come and help us pass out books to kids at Crisis Assistance Ministry or Magic Book Parties, we would welcome you. So love to talk to you about that afterwards. We do have a video to show. I think it's so important that you see the impact these books are having. So let's go ahead and watch that now. These out in case you ever want to take one of these or one of my cards. But it has been such an incredible journey. Last month we celebrated 1 year as a 501c3 nonprofit, and it has been the best year of my life. And I am so thankful for Promising Ages and all the support that we've received. And I know that so many kids are going to benefit because of what we're doing. And we're so proud to be in Charlotte. What an amazing, generous community that this is. And I just thank you for allowing me to speak. And if I have any time, I will ask for some questions. If not, I'll wrap it up. Does anyone have any questions? Yes?
5 minutes, about 5 minutes.
Okay. We've got about 5 minutes if anybody has any questions.
What are your most pressing needs? You went by a $12,000 figure pretty fast in your presentation. Did I hear you right?
Right. Well, manpower is major for us. We would love to go to Crisis Assistance Ministry 2 or 3 times a week. We are struggling to do 1 time a week right now, and we only need 4 people to make that happen. Our warehouse is the same thing. We process thousands of books every single week. Last week we gave out 7,000 books at our open house to partner organizations who are serving these kids that don't have any books. And just to bring in those books from the book drives, to clean them, to sort them, to stamp them, to wrap the ones that we wrap as presents. We need people to do that. We need people who come regularly, people who have time to come on Tuesdays from 10 to 1 or something like that. That is huge. Also, Queen's University wrote a business plan for us because they're like, guys, you've got to make money. You can't be this, bleeding nonprofit that can't support itself. And so what they said is, when you get these books for adults in, don't scoff at them, sell them. Sell them and use them for operating revenue. You have to sustain as if you're a business so that you can do what you need to do for these kids. So all these books for adults have been coming in, and we had a sale at our warehouse, and one weekend we made $3,000. That was my entire operating budget for the entire first year. And so one of the things I want to do is find some retail space where we can not only have a small area to sell some of those beautiful novels that come in, but have a free store for kids. When we go to Pete's, we meet these women with their children all the time, and we say, how many books do you have? And they say 4. Or they say, 50, but my kids are 9 and they're for, 5-year-olds. We would love to have them come down to our free store and have book bucks where they can then build a library. Our goal with our 1 Million Books Revolution is that every child in Charlotte will have a library at home. We know that we can do it. And so we're just hoping that, the right thing happens in one of these many empty storefronts where we can have that free store and make a little bit of money selling some of those amazing books that we just don't have a use for. We also need a treasurer. Our treasurer quit because she had some extenuating circumstances with her elderly parents that she has to take care of. So we're kind of struggling to try to find someone who can help us with the accounting portion. And then our Magic Bookmobile. I haul around thousands of books a week, and a 10-year-old Nissan that scrapes bottom every time it goes over a bump. And so what we want to do with this is we've already had some companies who have stepped up, who have said that they will provide food for us. We want it to be the Feed the Body, Feed the Mind mobile, and go into these neighborhoods where we know there are food deserts and book deserts, and hand out a healthy snack and a rap book. And so I know that that'll happen eventually too. I hate to mention this one, but it's true. I have a 1-year-old son, and I don't have childcare for him because I only make a stipend. And every day it gets harder and harder to work. Sometimes I'm working from 8 at night to 2 in the morning because I have to take care of him all day when my husband is at work. And it'd be really great just for 2 afternoons a week to have somewhere to take him that didn't cost me my entire stipend for the week. So that would be a huge blessing. And we need Rubbermaid storage totes at our warehouse. Those boxes break so easily, and those bins break so easily. And a seamstress to make some more costumes. We need more costumes to do what we're doing, and to crochet bookworms, which is a fundraiser for us. If you know anybody that crochets, or like a ladies group at church or something, that would be a really fun thing for them to do. So those are some of the things that we need. We need retirees and book lovers to come to our warehouse. Oh, we have an awesome high school internship. In fact, we were on the cover of Society Charlotte in December of 2012 for our high school internship. 22 high school interns last summer. It was so successful that we are doubling the internship program to 50 to 60 interns. They get to do everything from bringing books in, to sorting, stamping those books, to then going to the magic book parties, playing Irma at Crisis, handing out the books, reading one-on-one with kids. They find out the whole gamut of what it's like to run a nonprofit. So amazing, amazing internship. If you have any connections that can help me advertise for this, that would be phenomenal. These kids loved it. It's incredible. This summer we're so looking forward to it. We will have the manpower for you. We'll be able to do all the magic book parties we want this summer. Does anybody else have any questions? That was kind of a long answer. Yes?
You may have gone over this already, but you know, 1 million books sounds like a lot of books. How many books is that for each low-income child in Mecklenburg County?
It's only like 15. So, but the million books is interesting because we only need 365 businesses. There's 27,000 businesses in Charlotte. We only need 365 to collect an average of 2,200 books for us, and we've got our million. So we know that we can do it. We know that we can. I saw another question back here. Yeah?
Where are you getting the books? Where are these drives?
Churches, schools do drives for us. We've got some partnerships with some folks who have decided to let us have permanent drop-off locations in the city. So like Healthy Home Market on South Boulevard is the closest one here, so you can take any of your books over there, and then we just pick them up when the bin's full. Cornwall Center is one of them as well, Earth Fair Valentine. And then people just find us. We've had such an amazing incoming of books. It's just been hard to have the manpower to sort them. But yeah, books we take all books in any condition, baby through adult. Thank you so much. Thank you.